Okay, it's over to you, Debbie. I'm not hearing you. Not hearing you.
As I mute my own microphone and then forget to unmute it because technology. Good thing I'm the technology manager. All right. Good evening, everybody. My name, as Bonnie mentioned, is Debbie Jones, and I'm the Resource and Technology Manager here at NVRC, which a lot of the times means I get to play with all the cool gadgets. There is a lot of technology out there that can benefit folks who are deaf or hard of hearing, folks who are late deafened or deaf-blind, or those who have speech disabilities as well. So it isn't just about the hearing aids or the cochlear implants. There are many things that you may be able to take advantage of to aid you in your day-to-day life. Let me get my PowerPoint up and running here real quick. And that didn't do what I wanted it to do. Hold on just a moment. There we go. All right, can everybody see that? Okay. Every once in a while, PowerPoints and Zoom goes a little wonky. So if somebody, if something happens and my slides freeze, please let me know. All right. So just real quick about NVRC. We are a nonprofit organization with a mission of empowering deaf and hard of hearing individuals and their families through education, advocacy, and community involvement. So we do a lot of information and referral. We go out into the community to do presentations and trainings. We do hearing screenings. We advocate for deaf and hard of hearing, late deafened and deaf-blind individuals within our territories. If you want to learn more about NVRC, please visit our website at nvrc.org. We are based in Oakton, Virginia. We moved there a little over a year ago, so we're pretty settled in at this point. This is a picture of our building. We are actually within the Service Source building, and we have contracts with different counties and different agencies, but primarily as a nonprofit, we depend on donations from our members and the communities that we serve. As part of my contract, since I'm the technology manager with the Virginia Department for Deaf and Hard of Hearing, I cover a huge territory. It includes Alexandria, Arlington, Culpeper, Fairfax, Fauquier, Loudoun, Prince William, and Rappahannock. That means I drive a lot, at least when the weather's not crazy. So tonight I'm going to touch on a couple different topics. Talking about technologies, where you can find them, what kinds of technologies are out there. I'm going to talk about what's available through the Virginia, the state resources, what you can purchase for yourself. And then also technologies and services that you can take advantage of on a day-to-day basis, just out and about. And of course, the ever popular accessibility on the go, because more and more of us are becoming wireless. So we'll see what options are available for that. So let's start out about talking about the Technology Assistance Program. This is a program that was set up by the Virginia Department for Deaf and Hard of Hearing. VDDHH, as it is called, was given the task of setting up this program to assist deaf and hard of hearing consumers who needed specialized telephone equipment to help them get it at a lower cost. And so that can be TTY, that can be amplified phones, that could be captioned telephones. This program is open to any Virginia resident who is deaf, hard of hearing, deafblind, late deafened, or has difficulty speaking. It looks at how many folks live in the household and what the monthly household income is to see if you qualify for free equipment. If you are a military veteran who can provide your honorable discharge paperwork, the income requirement is waived and you automatically get the equipment for free. That program focuses on two areas of assistive technology: communication devices and signaling devices. So as I mentioned, amplified phones are part of the program. And you'll notice these are landline phones. So for folks who still have a landline accessibility in their home, many folks now have a landline bundled with their cable and internet services. So this would be an option for those households. Amplified phones allow you to adjust the volume as well as the tone. The tone is going to raise or lower the pitch of the sound that you're hearing. What that can do is help you boost the sounds that you still hear well, so that you get more of the information as you're listening. So if you hear high sounds better, you can adjust more of those sounds, those tones. If you hear low sounds better, you can adjust it that way. This can help clarify the sounds that you're hearing a little bit better. Often these also have a very loud ringer, an adjustable ringer where you can have a high pitch or a low pitch for the ring, and will often have some sort of flashing light built into it, whether that's the screen that may be built into the phone or a light. In these two pictures here, the light is across the bottom of the phone. So when the phone rings, that light also flashes to help get your attention. There are also cordless options for amplified phones. Again, landline phones. But these also have the ability to adjust the volume, adjust the tone, have the loud ringer, as well as have, the flashing light. Some of these will also have a built-in answering machine. And very often, that answering machine will have a feature that will let you adjust the speed of the playback. So you can have it slow down what is being said so that you can understand it better. For those of us who use mobile devices and maybe have found that the amplification on your regular mobile phone is just not enough to really understand someone, you can get a Bluetooth mobile phone amplifier. So this is a device that will Bluetooth to your mobile phone handset and let you turn up the volume even more. So when your mobile phone rings, you can pick up this handset, and it's about the same size as a mobile phone. You can pick this one up instead and answer your mobile phone with this handset. It is a rechargeable handset. So when you're home at night, plug it in, charge it up overnight, and you're ready to go the next day. Again, it has the tone control, it has the volume control, and it has a visual indicator. Sometimes, no matter how much we boost the volume or adjust the tone, it's just not enough to help us understand on the phone. That's where devices like captioned telephones can really be helpful. Especially nowadays, when you're having to call through telephone menu systems, or when you're having to call your doctor's office, calling to schedule an appointment for the plumber to come to your house, and you're dealing with times and dates. When you've already got a hearing loss, this can be really challenging to understand the numbers, the days, it can all blend together. Having a captioned phone gives you a printout of what the other person is saying to you, so that you have that backup. You can still hear their voice. You can hear what they're saying. You can speak back to them just like a regular telephone, but everything they say to you will also appear on a screen that is built into the phone. Again, these are landline telephones. For this phone, you will need a telephone line and an internet connection, because the phone itself uses the telephone line to bring you the voice, and then uses the internet connection to bring you the captions. But this has been a lifesaver for a lot of folks. Some of my coworkers use this phone every day, and this is how this is an everyday part of their life. So it has really benefited a lot of people. Some folks may have seen one of these devices. Before we had high-speed internet connection and digital lines, before we had captioned phones, we had the TTY. And for folks who were deaf or hard of hearing or had a speech difficulty, this was the way to talk over the phone. Both you and the person you're calling would need to have one, so you could type back and forth, or you would call through a relay service to the doctor's office, to the pizza shop, all of that. However, as we know, digital is taking over. And this technology really only works on analog telephone lines, so it will be eventually going away. The FCC is working on that sundowning process, and something else will eventually take its place. For now, that is a feature that is built into every mobile phone called RTT, real-time text. And I'll talk a little bit more about that later on, but that gives your mobile phone the ability to type over an open phone call. Now, I mentioned the Virginia Relay Service. The relay service was established so that folks who use specialized telephone technology because of speech or hearing difficulties gives them the ability to take advantage of those devices and make calls through the relay service to folks who do not have that kind of technology. With the TTY, that was a really important piece, to be able to call your doctor's office, call the school to make arrangements, all of that. This is a free public service. Everyone with a phone line in the Commonwealth of Virginia, you already pay for this service. Under the list of charges on your phone bill, you'll find TRS, that's Telecommunications Relay Service. And so each month you pay a little bit so that folks who need the relay do not have to pay for it every time they make a call. And this service is available 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. Nationwide, the relay number is 711. Now, for some folks, the telephone is not the problem. They can deal with the telephone just fine with their hearing aids or their implant and all of that, but they really struggle with the one-on-one communication. That's where a personal amplifier can be really helpful. And you can use these if you do have hearing aids or cochlear implant that have a telecoil built in. You can take advantage of these. Or if you don't have or wear hearing aids or cochlear implant, you can use these with headphones or earbuds to take advantage of being able to turn up the volume on the folks that you're chatting with. Ideally, these are used in situations that are one-on-one or small groups, but you could also try this for, say, a lecture at the library, where you can sit down front and have a good, clear view of the speaker. You wear the headset or the earbuds or the neck loop, and you can adjust the volume to what's right for you. These have built-in microphones that you have the plug for the headset. Some of them run on batteries. Some of them are rechargeable. So those are the communication devices that are under the state program. Now let's take a look at alerting devices. These are devices that let you know what's going on in your environment so that you know when the phone is ringing or when someone is at your door. An amplified ring signaler is something you can daisy chain into your landline. So it goes from the wall to the ringer, from the ringer to the phone. And that ringer lets you change the pitch and change the volume and sometimes change the pattern of the ring so that it can better get your attention. There are also doorbells that are amplified or flash a light when they ring. And many of these are wireless doorbells now. So you don't have to have an electrician come in and do wiring. You can simply set them up and you're ready to go. There are devices for the doorbell and the and alarm clocks. Some of these are standalone devices, others are all in one. These are two devices that will signal for the telephone, the doorbell, and an alarm clock. The first one, very obviously, has a built-in clock. It has the wireless doorbell. It has a built-in light that will flash. It also has an adjustable volume for sound and a bed shaker. Yes, you can shake your bed. If you are a fairly light sleeper, you can put this underneath your mattress. If you're a pretty heavy sleeper, you might want to put it in your pillowcase so that you get that vibration when the alarm goes off. The other one is one that will work with your mobile phone. So you set your mobile phone to vibrate mode and it will feel the vibration when you get a call or a text comes in. You can also plug into it for the audible rings, things like the Skype or FaceTime calls. You can set your alarm on your smartphone, your mobile device, and set it in the cradle. And when that alarm goes off, it will flash the light. It will shake the bed. Okay. So as I mentioned, the TAP includes communication and alerting devices, signaling devices. There is an application process that looks at your eligibility. If you qualify for free equipment, you get to take it home for 30 days and try it out. If you decide that it works for you at the end of the 30 days, you get to keep it. It now becomes yours. If it's not working for you, you contact us within those 30 days and we switch it out and try something else. If you don't qualify for the free equipment, you can still get the equipment through the state at the contract cost or at the state cost. So that is a possibility as well. So that is what is available through the Technology Assistance Program. But that's not all the kinds of devices that are out there. So let's take a look at some of the commercially available devices. Of course, there are amplified phones of every shape and size. Again, amplified sound, adjust the tone, flashing lights. You'll also notice they very often have large or easy to read numbers as well, which is part of universal design. Some of these also have speakerphones. For some folks, speakerphones are easier because you can use both ears to listen. There are more and more cordless options as well. It used to be that for folks who were deaf, or rather who were hard of hearing, this was not a good option because there was too much opportunity for interference. But the technology has really improved a lot, and this has become a great option, particularly for folks who also have mobility issues. There are several different types of caption phones. I believe there's 3 manufacturers for caption phones. And so you can do some shopping around and see which ones are going to meet your needs. For folks who use American Sign Language to communicate, there are video phones. And this is more of a service than a device, because generally, if you are deaf and you use sign language, the video relay service will provide the video device and then also the video relay service. This utilizes high-speed internet so that you can make telephone calls in your native language. You can sign directly with your friends who also have a video phone, or you can call through the video relay interpreter and they will interpret the call between the deaf person and the hearing person. There are many kinds of personal listening devices as well. We mentioned the personal amplifier. This is another model of the personal amplifier. There are also FM systems, which use a radio signal to bring the sound to you. So you have it's a 2-piece. So you have a transmitter with a microphone, which you put near the speaker or in the middle of the conference table, that sort of thing. And then you wear the receiver, which has the earbuds or the headphones or the neck loop. And again, you adjust the volume to where it's comfortable for you. There are standalone devices as well, specifically for certain functions, like TV listening. Very often they can also be connected to radios or other sound devices. Most folks use these for the listening to the TV. They connect to the audio out of your television set, and you wear headphones or a stethoscope kind of receiver. You can have a wireless speaker that sits right next to your seat. There's even one that I've seen that actually sits, if you've got a big old easy chair, you can put the speakers over the back of the easy chair and have it right by your ears. And again, you get to control how loud the volume is for yourself. This also sometimes means that, whoever lives with you can be doing their own thing and reading, and you can be listening to the TV just through your headphones or your little speaker. There's a lot of options. There's even Bluetooth as an option now. Many different kinds of alarm clocks. I mentioned the all-in-one system before. There's also just alarm clocks with bright light, very loud alarm, adjustable alarms. You can adjust the tone as well as the volume, and the bed shakers. There are travel alarm clocks where you can set the alarm on the device, and it's about the size of a hockey puck. Set the alarm on the device, put it in your pillowcase, and you're good to go. When the alarm goes off, your pillow buzzes and shakes to wake you up. There are even Bluetooth bed shakers now, where you download an app to your mobile device, your mobile phone, and you set the alarm on your phone. It's Bluetooth to the bed shaker, which then goes in your pillowcase. And again, when the alarm goes off on your phone, the Bluetooth bed shaker buzzes and vibrates. Here's a really important one, visual smoke detectors. When we start to lose our hearing, very often we first lose the high pitch, the high frequencies. So little kids' voices become more difficult. Women's voices become more difficult. And a lot of smoke detectors, smoke alarms, have kind of a really high pitch siren. So it's important that when you're dealing with a hearing loss, you need to test your smoke detectors at home. Have a friend, have a family member help you test this, where you go lay down without your hearing aids, without your CI, on your good ear, as many folks have a good ear and a bad ear, and make sure you can still hear that smoke detector. Because many of us don't realize that we've lost our hearing to that point where if we're laying down in a certain position, we may not hear that smoke detector. But there are options. There are devices, visual smoke detectors that will have the really bright strobe light, the really loud alarm. Some of these also have a bedside unit that will have a flasher right by your bed, as well as perhaps a bed shaker, so that when that fire alarm goes off, it's also shaking your bed and flashing the light and getting your attention. An important thing to remember in Virginia, if you rent your home or apartment, it is the landlord's responsibility to provide visual smoke detectors upon request. So if you have someone in your home who is deaf or hard of hearing, you can write a note to the landlord or the management company of your rental. Let them know someone in the home is deaf or hard of hearing, and you need a visual smoke detector for safety. It is then the landlord's responsibility to provide that. So let's talk about some of the publicly available devices that everybody can take advantage of. Of course, at home, using the captions on the TV or on your computer, making sure that those are turned on. Becoming familiar with the settings of your devices at home is really important so that you know how to access those features that will keep you better connected. Movie theaters are required to provide accessibility, and that can look like different things depending on the theater. Many of the theaters do have assistive listening devices so that when you buy your ticket, you can request the FM listening system for that theater. And they'll give you that, again, that receiver with the headphones that is tuned to the theater that you have bought your ticket for. In some movie theaters, they have what's called rear window captioning. When you request the captioning device, they will give you this piece of plexiglass, looks like, on a gooseneck that sits in your cup holder. And the captions are actually displayed on the back wall of the theater. And you adjust that plexiglass so that you can see both the movie and the captions. Other places have captioning glasses, where you wear a receiver around your neck that's connected to these glasses. And as you're watching the movie, the captions will run across the glasses. You can also get this kind of accessibility in live entertainment videos. So if you go to the Kennedy Center, lots of different live theater venues provide captioning as real-time captioning. So there is a screen near the front of the stage that will run word for word captions of what is being said during the performance. You can get, again, the listening system, the FM listening system. You may also use something called, well, there's a couple of apps. The one that seems most prevalent here is called Gala Pro. So if you're going to a live theater performance, you can access the Gala Pro app on your mobile device, and it will stream the dialogue as the theater performance is running. Now, very often you will find listings for captioned performances, just like you have sign language interpreted performances. You'll also see captioned performance dates. These are also accessibilities that you can take advantage of for your workplace or community meetings. You can request to have real-time captions where you have a CART reporter like we do tonight who is listening to everything that's being said and providing a word-for-word transcript. You can request an assistive listening device for that meeting as well. Many online platforms, including Zoom, have a captioning feature built into the platform, which can either do automatic speech recognition captions or allows you to bring in a live captioner to provide CART. And you can request that that accessibility be activated for the meetings that you are attending. Now, if you need to do a conference call or you're joining an online meeting that doesn't have caption access for whatever reason, as residents of Virginia, you can use what's called remote conference captioning. So when you get the details for that Zoom meeting or Teams meeting, or when you have the details for when to call in for your conference call, you can go online and reserve remote conference captioning for that event. Once it's been approved and assigned a captioner, you'll get an email that says, so-and-so is your captioner for this meeting. Here's the link that you'll need to view the captions. So when you call into that conference bridge or join that Zoom or Teams meeting, the captioner is also calling in and is providing those captions on a secure website, so that even if the meeting itself can't provide you captions, there is still a way to have access to that. Now let's talk about accessibility on the go. Because in this area, especially, everybody has gone wireless. There's actually a great website called accesswireless.org. And it kind of breaks it down, what features are you needing to have accessibility for? Is it your vision? Is it mobility? Is it your hearing? And you can take a look at the accessibility features that are available in mobile phones, mobile devices, and it helps you make a decision on what features you want in your next phone. And then it also has links to the company, or rather the companies that carry those devices. But let's talk about your current mobile device. Do you know what accessibility features are already built in? Most of the folks, you're looking at either an Android or an Apple device, right? So anytime you want to take a look at what accessibility features are there, you're going to go into your settings and look for accessibility. In our case, we want to look at the hearing accessibility features. Both devices do have some really nice features, and they're pretty equivalent as to what they can do. Whether that's captions for any videos that you're running on your mobile device, flashing lights to let you know when it's ringing or a text comes in, the real-time text that I mentioned earlier, being able to focus sound for you, whether that's routing the sound just to one side, having a mono audio or a stereo audio, being able to adjust the sounds and that sort of thing, or providing live transcription of what's being said around you. So these are some of the examples of the different accessibility features for hearing that you can find in Android and Apple devices. And I'll be sending out a copy of this PowerPoint after tonight's presentation so that you can take a look at it and refer back to things. So becoming familiar with the accessibilities that are already built into your phone is the first step. Now, I've mentioned real-time text a couple of times. Back in 2016, because the FCC foresaw that TTY, or text typewriter technology, would be on the out, they allowed wireless providers to make changes to how deaf and hard of hearing folks with speech disabilities can access wireless phone technology. And this is where RTT comes in. Now this symbol, the capital letter T with the little lines chasing behind it, is the symbol for RTT. So you may find that as you're looking through the accessibility features on your mobile device. So to enable this, we want to go into those settings, into the accessibility and the hearing settings, and look for RTT, real-time text. You want to activate that. And then when you are needing to make a call, so say I'm a deaf person, I don't have, I've only got my mobile device, I cannot hear on the phone, but I need to call 911. So activating real-time text, I can call 911, and that will allow me to type to them over my open phone line. The 911 center will receive that just like a TTY call, where what I am typing will activate their device to switch to TTY mode, and they'll be able to type back to me. And so once I've activated the RTT function, you'll see on my little green call button is that little capital T with the lines chasing it. Another feature that is available, it's not universally available as yet, but it is available in Northern Virginia region, is text to 911, where if you're in an emergency situation and you need to contact 911, but calling them is not a possibility, you can text to 911. And so when you open your text feature in your mobile device, only put 911. Do not try to CC anybody or it won't work. You want to put 911, and then in the field of your message, you're going to give short to the point details, who you are, where you are, what is the situation. You want to keep it short and sweet. You want to keep it simple. And then you will start that back and forth conversation with the 911 operator. All right. So apps, there's a lot of apps. There's a lot of apps out there. So we're going to go over some of the kind of more common ones that folks use. Nowadays, if you've got a hearing aid, most likely there is an app on your phone that lets you control it. You can control the volume for each side. You can control which way the microphone is picking up. Is it right in front of you? Is it all around you? You can make adjustments for the telephone, for music, depending on the programs that your devices have. Pretty much every major hearing aid manufacturer has an app, has at least one hearing aid model that can take advantage of an app on your phone. Apps for telephone calls. We talked about the captioned telephones for your landline at home. There are also apps that can let you do that on the go. You just download the apps, you create a free account, you self-certify, yes, I have a hearing loss, that requires me to depend on text communication for my phone calls. And then ingoing and outgoing calls will be captioned. For folks who use American Sign Language, there are video relay apps that let them connect with that interpreter through video relay or directly to their friends who also sign. Video calling for folks calling friends and family. Being able to see the face on the video call is a huge benefit for folks who are deaf or hard of hearing. You can see the facial expression. You can see the movement of the lips. Many of these apps also now have caption features. They have automatic speech recognition features that you can activate. So you kind of get the whole package. You can hear what they're saying. You can see their face and their emotions and their speech. And you can also have the captions as a backup. For those brief interactions, maybe you just, every day you go to the coffee shop and you get pretty much the same thing. You can type up a flashcard to have ready to just show to the barista. Or you can have some kind of pre-typed cards for different occasions. Where's the restroom, please? Where do I catch the bus? Those kind of brief, simple questions or comments that you can show to people. For one-on-one communication where you're struggling to understand, voice-to-text apps can be helpful. They're not perfect, but they can be a real help when you're struggling to understand somebody. There's several different ones. There's Google Live Transcribe for Android. There's the Live Transcribe app for Apple devices. Big Note works on both, as do Otter and Ava. Again, these are free apps. You can download them and play around with them. Otter and Ava do have a couple limitations. If you use over a certain number of minutes each month, then there's a fee involved. But just for the occasional day-to-day kind of conversation, it might be worth it. So try it out, see what works for you. Again, for folks who use American Sign Language, there is an app for on-demand interpreting. For those little brief interactions where you're really struggling to understand, you can bring in an interpreter to help clarify. It's a per minute charge, and I believe it's about $1 a minute. But again, one more tool to include in the toolbox for your communication. NVRC does have a technology demonstration room. We have telephone devices, we have our signaling devices, alerting, listening devices, all these different things where folks can come in, sit down and talk about what the challenges are that you're having. And then we can try some things out and see what might fit your needs. We do ask that you make an appointment to come in, but we would love to meet with you, talk about what kind of challenges you're dealing with, and see how we can help. There are also vendors out there who provide these kinds of devices. This is just a sampling. We've got a whole list front and back of different companies that specialize in equipment for deaf and hard of hearing folks. So if you're having trouble finding devices out there, let us know. We can help you track them down. All right. Do we have any questions?
Actually, Debbie, I have a question.
Yes.
Do you want to wait? Hold on. Let me stop recording now.
Okay.